morning everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the important topic in administrative law, that is joint administrative. This is concerned with, the topic is concerned with the origin and development of administrative law. As the term itself indicates, the term is a French term. With respect to origin and development of administrative law, it is said that administrative law is as old as the executive government itself. Wherever we see the executive government or executive branch of the government, we can able to establish the traces of administrative law there. But in fact, the administrative law is of new origin. In fact, the administrative law witnessed its tremendous growth during the 20th century, that is after the 20th century. But in France, the administrative law was fully developed even before 20th century. As we know, administrative law relates to the public administration, and therefore it has been in some form or other form in every country having some form of government. But it is believed that administrative law took its original growth, took its original birth, and it fully developed even before the 20th century in France. That branch of the government that we in our country will call it as executive branch or the administrative branch, that branch is called as the administrative, and the law related to that is known as droit administrative. So here droit administrative means administrative law in France. Droit administrative is nothing but administrative law in France. Now we will look into origin and development of administrative law in France. French administrative law, as I told, is known as droit administrative. It means a body of rules which determine the organization, powers and duties of public administration and regulates the relation of the administration with the citizens of the country, and it is a very old system in France. It does not represent rules and principles enacted by Parliament. This is one of the important characteristic feature of droit administrative, that the rules which comes under droit administrative are not enacted by the Parliament as usual. That we will see, like in our country, the rules which are governed, which govern the administrative authorities are made or enacted by the Parliament, the central legislature or the state legislature, whatever respectively. But here, one of the important feature of droit administrative is that the rules which comes under, the principles which covered under droit administrative are not made by the Parliament or not enacted by the Parliament. Rather, these rules are developed by the courts in France. Dicey, in his famous work Law and Constitution, published in the year 1915, said, droit administrative is that portion of French law which determines three things, three principles. So in the year 1915 itself, Dicey has structured, has given the characteristic features. He has discussed his famous work Law and Constitution, the important characteristic features of droit administrative. That is number one, the position and liabilities of state officials. Number two, the civil rights and liabilities of private individuals in their dealings with officials as representatives of the state. And number three, the procedure by which these rights and liabilities are enforced. So this is the essence of administrative law as given by the Dicey. If we see the droit administrative, then we can establish, if we study the concept of droit administrative, we can establish one important thing, that is the separate code to deal with administrative matters. So this is the important element or important principle or important characteristic feature which was developed even before the 20th century in the France, that there were two separate codes to deal with the matters. That is, to deal with all the matters, there was one category of codes, and to deal with administrative matters, there is a separate category of codes which was known as Conseil d'État. Conseil d'État were the separate codes which were established to deal with the matters concerned with the liabilities or enforceabilities of the public, that is between the public and the administrative authorities. If any citizen is harassed, if any citizen is neglected or is if he is aggrieved by any action of the administrative authority, then he can file the case against those authorities in a separate court, that is Conseil d'État. So Conseil d'État is a separate court, is the separate adjudicatory system which was developed in the France to deal with administrative matters. Specifically during the Napoleon period, the Conseil d'État was widely established. These courts were widely established in France, specifically during the 18th century, that is under the regime of Napoleon Bonaparte. Now coming to the rules of droit administrative, rules concerned with droit administrative. In France, droit, as I said, droit administrative consists of the rules and regulations developed by the judges of administrative courts. So there are three series of such rules, such regulations which were developed by the administrative courts. So what these administrative courts have given the rules, given the principles, given the guidelines, those principles, those regulations, those rules came to be known as droit administrative. Those consolidatory came to known as droit administrative. Number one, so there are three series of rules. Number one, rules relating to administrative authorities and officials, that is with respect to appointment, dismissal, status, salary and duties. Number two, rules relating to the operation of public services to meet the needs of citizens. Number three, rules relating to administrative adjudication, that is with respect to resolving of matters. Now coming to the characteristic features of droit administrative, the important characteristic features which separates the administrative system of France from other systems, that is even before the 20th century. Number one, matters concerning state and administrative litigation fall within the jurisdiction of administrative courts and cannot be decided by other courts. That means if there is any matter, if there is any suit pertaining to administrative authority and administrative authority, it may be between administrative authority and state, or it may be between administrative authorities and private individuals. If administrative authorities have acted in their official capacities, and while acting in their official capacities, if they have crossed their limits, and the private citizens have denied their rights, then these matters can only be dealt by the administrative courts, which were developed or which were constituted only to deal administrative matters, and other courts cannot deal these kind of matters. That means, as we can see in various matters, the jurisdiction of civil courts will be barred. Like suppose, for example, if we have any special court to deal that matter, special courts or any tribunal is being constituted to deal that particular matter, then in those kind of things, the jurisdiction of civil court will be usually barred. So same, even this example which I gave is after the 20th century. We came to know, and we came to accepted and we implemented these after the 20th century. That is after the full development of administrative law. But this scheme was already in existence even before the 20th century in the France. That is, there were separate courts, and the jurisdiction of other civil courts, other common courts was barred. The second important characteristic feature of Lloyd administrative is in deciding matters concerning the state and administrative litigation. That means, if there is any litigation between the state and the administrative authorities, rules as developed by the administrative courts are applied. So the president will be having the power. The president is applied there. Number 3, if there is conflict of jurisdiction between ordinary courts and the administrative courts, usually it will happen if there is a separate court and if there is a regular court, a special court and a regular court, so there may be a conflicting judgments. So to resolve those things, there will be another court which is called as Tribunal des Conflicts. Tribunal des Conflicts. So this is another special court of appeal which is established to resolve the conflicting things or conflicting issues between the judgments passed by the regular courts and the consolidated. That is the regular courts. To resolve, that is with respect to jurisdiction. So this tribunal des conflicts, first of all, if it is very clear that this matter is of administrative nature, is relating to administrative action, then it is very clearly it will be dealt by the administrative courts, that is consolidated. Now, there is a question with respect to jurisdiction itself. Like, to where it has to be referred, whether it has to be referred to the regular court or whether it has to be referred to the special court. So that is a conflict with respect to jurisdiction. So to solve that conflict of jurisdiction, there is separate court that is called Tribunal des Conflicts. Tribunal des Conflicts. This is a tribunal to decide the jurisdiction of the court. Which court is having jurisdiction over this matter? This is another feature. The next feature, important feature, fourth one and last one is Conseil d'État is the supreme administrative court. It is the supreme administrative court. It is the court of last resort. Now these are the characteristic features of Lloyd administrative. Now if we come to the critical appraisal or critical analysis of the French administrative system, Professor Dicey, as I told, in his book Law and Constitution, published published in the year 1915, has criticized the system of France pertaining to administrative functions. That is, he said that establishment of separate court is against the principle of natural justice. He thought that the establishment of separate courts to deal with the administrative matter is like giving privilege or is like giving preference to the administrative authorities, as they have special courts, as they have privileges, and they have some special status in the society, as they are civil servants, they are administrative authorities. So if you are establishing separate courts to deal the matters concerned to them, then you are treating the non-civil servants or non-administrative authorities alike. By that you are making the difference. So that is the principle which is going against the natural principle of equality. So what he thought is the establishment of separate court is for giving special treatment to the administrative authorities. But in his last days of his life, he agreed that the establishment of separate courts, establishment of consolidated is not for giving the special treatment to the civil servants or special preference to the administrative authorities, but it is for giving speedy justice to the citizens, to the needy. So in fact, the Consolidated Act and the special courts, that is special courts established by the French government, has worked for betterment of the people, betterment of the common citizens. So Consolidated Act has worked for the betterment of the common citizens, and it has impacted the development of administrative law in other countries also. This is for today. Thank you. In the next class, we will discuss another. In the next video, we will discuss another important topic of administrative law. Thank you.